Welcome to the Meher Baba program. I'm your host, Sam Ervin, and with me today is a very special guest, Bhau Kalchuri. Bhau comes from Ahmednagar, India, and for 50 years he's been a close disciple of Avatar Meher Baba. And Bhau is with us today to share his experiences, stories from his life with Baba. And before we do that, I'd just like to share a little bit of information about this extraordinary man, because he is extraordinary. Bhau has a bachelor's degree in agricultural science, a master's degree in public administration. He also has a law degree. He's a practicing attorney. He is chairman of the Avatar Meher Baba Perpetual Public Charitable Trust in Ahmednagar, India. So he has many responsibilities today. After 50 years of actively following the person that many people consider to be God in human form, Avatar Meher Baba. He's also written a number of books about his experiences and about Meher Baba and his message. He's written a number of books of spiritual poetry. He's written a 20-volume biography called Lord Meher, a fascinating account, detailed account of Meher Baba's life. Another book called Avatar of the Age, Meher Baba Manifesting. Another book called The Nothing and the Everything, and a very special book about his years as the night watchman for Meher Baba called While the World Slept. So we're very pleased, Bhau, to have you with us today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. So I'd like to ask you, I think the question that arises when somebody thinks about Meher Baba and his claim that he's God in human form, in your words, to Bhau Kalchuri, who is Meher Baba?
For me, he is my beloved, he is God, and he is everything. Because I was with him, and I have experienced. So it is not that I read books, and because of that I accepted him. When I accepted him, I did not know even his name. I did not know anything about him. So it is just my experience. My experience means he gave me that experience that I could recognize him. And not only recognized him, but also followed him. I would be always with him.
So you feel that Meher Baba drew you to him?
Yes, of course.
So how did that happen? How did you first find out about him, learn about him?
I was in college, and of course I was not interested in spirituality. And I was interested in my studies. I was doing my law. I was also doing chemistry and public administration. I was very, very busy, and all of a sudden a change took place. Change means Baba was to go to Nagpur, where I was in the university, and I did not know anything about it. So when he went there, I read in newspaper, and when I read in newspaper, I said, just I must go and see him. But when I went there, so thousands of people had come, and he would not give messages or discourses. He would just wash the feet of 7 poor, bow down to them, and of course he would give them present. And then afterwards his program would begin, and what would be the program? Everyone would come in a queue, and just he would give one banana, and that was the thing. So at that time he had come to America in 1952, and America he met with an accident, severe accident, and after that he went to India, and he started Mass Darshan program. Before that, of course, he would go from place to place, and he would do poor program. He would collect poor people, and he would wash their feet, bow down to them and give them present. throughout his life he did this. And then lepers. And the most important was just God intoxicated. They look like mad, but they are not mad. So he would just be with them, or some he would bring to his ashram and would serve them. And of course, there were others. Not only Baba would not spare anyone, rich, poor, middle class. So all types of people, but nobody would know who he was, and his identity would never be disclosed. It would be said that he is a businessman from Bombay or some other place. So identity would, otherwise they would not allow him to bow down. And without bowing down, washing their feet, bowing down.
So he, Meher Baba, would bow down
Yes.
to the people that he was
Yes.
washing their feet and giving them presents.
And he would not allow anyone to bow down to him. So it was very difficult. That's why his identity would never be disclosed. And then in 1952, then of course he met with an accident in America. At that time, before that, say in 20 years before, he had said that America needs my blood.
America needs my blood.
And I have to shed it. America needs my blood and I have to shed it. And he would go and come back. But in 1952, when he came to America, he met with an accident, severe accident.
This was the accident in Prague, Oklahoma?
Yes, that's right. And this year there was 50th anniversary of that.
May 24th, 1952.
Yes. Yes. So then of course he went to India and he would go from place to place. Nobody would know that who he was. But when he went, thousands and thousands of people, 50,000, 60,000, 80,000. And of course, when I saw him from a distance, it is a long story, how could I see him? But when I saw him at a distance, so many people, and when I saw his face is smiling, that smile, it was so sweet that apparently he was just smiling, but I did not know that he was throwing arrow towards my heart. And then I was attracted. Anyway, he said that I contacted millions of people and only one fish. I spread the net and only one fish I caught.
And you were the fish?
Yes.
Did he said this to you?
He told others.
Yeah.
And he said to me, but at that time he did not say. After years he said that only one fish I caught. I spread the net, but millions came, but only one fish. So then of course I was with him. I was doing night watch. I was also doing correspondence. I would also write books. According to his instructions he would give. And anything I would write, of course, I had to read out to him. When he would approve, then only it would be published. So it went on and on till the end. I joined in 1953 because there were examinations for me. So December 1952 I joined, and 53 April, of course, I was with him since then.
You came and lived with Meher Baba as one of his, it's called Mandali?
Yes.
Mandali means...
Mandali means those who were very close to him.
It's like his circle of disciples.
Yes.
Now, is that like the apostles of Jesus in his day?
It is like that. It is like that. This time Baba would call them Mandali.
Mandali.
But they were a circle member in his circle. So one thing which happened in Delhi, the capital of India. Baba went there and Baba was giving the Mass Darshan program, and people would come. First day, thousands of people came and sick, and one lady had come. Nobody knew. So he went to the house, and she says to her husband that why don't you go and see Meher Baba? He said, Meher Baba? What I have to do with him? I have nothing to do with him. Why should I see? So she says, do you love me? She says, of course, whether you have any doubt. So if you love me, my love demands that you must see him. And he was in difficulty. So next day he came, and thousands of people, he was standing in a queue 3 hours. And when he approached Meher Baba, then Meher Baba gave him one banana and he was pushed away. And he says that how my wife is so illiterate. I stood for this one banana in queue 3 hours in the sun. Had she told me, I would have purchased dozens of bananas for her. So he goes back. When he goes back home, wife says, did you see Meher Baba? He says, of course, I saw him. What did he give? He said, this banana, take this. He was very much upset. He said, no, my love demands that you must eat it. So then he had to eat. He ate, and then afterwards, whole night he could not sleep. During daytime also could not. He would feel restless. So he went to a doctor. He said, I feel restless and I don't sleep. Please just examine me. Doctor examined him and gave him sleeping dose. Then of course at bedtime he took the sleeping dose. Hardly 1 hour he could sleep. And again he was restless, day and night continuously. 4 days, after 4 days again, he goes to another doctor. And he says, I don't know what has happened, but I went to that doctor and he gave me this sleeping pill, but I could not sleep. So he gave a stronger dose. And he took it at bedtime, but nothing, he could not sleep, hardly 2 hours. And then he thinks, how it is happening to me. Meher Baba must have mixed something in the banana. He must have mixed. So he wrote a letter to Meher Baba saying that I want to see you. Give me some time. So Baba permitted him. So he came along with his wife and 2 other persons. And there are 2 ashrams, Baba's ashram. One is called Meherazad, another is called Meherabad.
Meherazad and Meherabad.
Meherabad. So Meherazad is the resident place of Baba. And Baba would meet the visitors at Meherabad. So he was there at Meherabad, and Baba had sent instruction to the caretaker, just arrange best of food for them and also comfortable beds. So it was all arranged. Next day Baba went there. Baba embraced everyone. And Baba says, Principal Niranjan Singh, did you sleep last night? And he said, no Baba, I could not sleep. No? Why? What was the problem? The food was not good? The food was very delicious. Whether bed was not comfortable? Bed was comfortable. Then why did you not sleep? He said, I have got one problem. I am a scientist, and I cannot believe that infinite God. How is it possible for infinite God to be bottled up in this body? And Baba says, you are a scientist. your question is really very, very scientific. And I'm not a
That's a question, by the way, that a lot of our viewers may be asking themselves. How could God, we always think infinite, terribly
God,
remote.
Infinite space.
How could God be in this body? Yeah.
In this body. So Baba said, your question is very scientific. And I'm not a scientist. How could I reply? And then he asked the Mandali members who were sitting there, do you know the answer? They said, no, Baba. He said, this scientist, of course, he asked this question and I cannot reply. But Principal Niranjan Singh, don't worry. You are a scientist, make some research and you will find out, don't worry. And that scientist thought that now Baba would not be able to answer his question. And all of a sudden Baba said, what do you see on the road? Can you see anything? So he looked at the road and he said, yes, Baba, I see the trucks and the buses and also the pedestrians. Oh, you can see? He says, yes. And beyond this route, can you see anything? So he looked out and he saw that, yes, Baba, of course, he says to Baba that farmers are plowing the land. And what else? And the animals are grazing. Baba says, you can see? He says, yes, I can see. And beyond that, can you see anything? So he looked out and he saw that, yes, there is one temple and animals are grazing. How far is the temple from here? So he says, maybe 1 mile. 1 mile. How do you see? With my eyes. How big are your eyes? He said, oh, I got the answer. Baba said, still you are a scientist, you got the answer. But this is not the answer. Mm-hmm. This is the gross world. And this gross world, it is very big. God is infinite. So, this his shadow, it is also infinite. So there are so many worlds. You don't know. There are 18,000 worlds where human beings are living. So, and you say that this is the space. In gross world, you find the space, you find the time, and you find the forms. But there is subtle world beyond this gross world, and that subtle world is also in everyone. Because God is in everyone, so the subtle world is also in everyone. And Baba says, subtle world, it holds the gross world. How big it must be? And scientist says that it must be bigger than this. Baba says, you are a scientist and you say bigger. Space, you just think of in terms of space. How it can be bigger than that? If I put one pinpoint here, whether it is gross or subtle. So he says, it is gross. Baba says, so you cannot imagine the gross world, subtle world. Because in gross world you find the space, you find the time. But subtle world is that world where it engulfs the consciousness, the space, time and forms. It deals with energy only. And that's why subtle world, it is so small that you cannot imagine through gross consciousness.
So that time and space only exist in the gross world.
Gross world.
The subtle world is beyond.
This, just like now we see atom bomb and hydrogen bomb, very powerful. But it is just nothing. It is the shadow of the gross, of the subtle world. So there is no space. Space is just engulfed. So when we have this gross experience and when we experience the subtle world, so this space is engulfed. We don't have the space because we experience, at that time we experience the energy. And then beyond his mental world is still so subtle that even through subtle consciousness you cannot imagine. And beyond that is infinite consciousness. Now we have gross consciousness, and this gross consciousness, that means we are creating the space.
So we create what we see, the space, the forms,
yes.
time.
So the space we experience. But when we experience the subtle world, then of course there is no space. Mental world only deals with the thoughts and desires. And beyond that is infinite consciousness. But infinite consciousness, God. God holds mental world, subtle world, and this gross world. So, how can you imagine through? You have to experience that.
So how does one experience the subtle, the mental, and you said infinite God? Is that possible?
Only through love for God.
Love for God.
Yes. And for this age, Baba has given importance to obedience. Because love is also the grace of God. So, grace of God.
So, grace of God. So, it takes, God must give us love?
Yes. But for that obedience, so master, just like avatar and a perfect master. Avatar is the one, avatar, Christ or prophet. So, they come age after age, come down on earth age after age.
So, for people today, who want to be closer to God, who want to live a life that would be pleasing to God, who would want to love God, what advice would you give them?
Only thing that Baba has given, expressed his wish.
This is in this book here, I believe.
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Shall I read it?
Read out.
Okay. My wish. This is Meher Baba. The lover has to keep the wish of the beloved. My wish for my lovers is as follows. Do not shirk your responsibilities. That's number one. Number two, attend faithfully to your worldly duties, but keep always at the back of your mind that all this is Baba's. Number three, when you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. 4, be resigned to every situation and think honestly and sincerely, Baba has placed me in this situation. 5, with the understanding that Baba is in everyone, try to help and serve others. 6, I say with my divine authority to each and all that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes to me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You should start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name only once every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments.
So this wish Baba expressed and follow, because this is sophisticated age. And sophisticated age, and no one has any time. With the people who just renounce the world, go to the mountain. Not possible. Everyone has to work. There is no time.
Now, these things seem very practical.
Very practical.
That he's asking people to do.
And not only this, but he's working for that, creating that awareness, so that we may be able to follow his wish. Baba has said that it takes 100 years after he drops his body for his universal manifestation. And when universal manifestation will take place, of course the awareness will be there and people will follow. But till then, there will be lot of difficulties, lot of things would happen, because he has said that the illusion will go to the extreme. and then spirituality will also be manifested in extreme.
So, he says, don't worry, be happy. That sounds like a very important message, and it seems connected.
It is very important. Very important. But when you face difficulties.
I think our time is just about over. There will be a part 2 to this program, so we will continue this fascinating discussion with our very special guest, Bhau Kalchuri from Ahmednagar, India, one of Meher Baba's very closest disciples for 50 years. And I really want to thank you very much today, Bhau, for joining us.
Thank you.